Alrighty, good morning everybody and welcome back. Sunday morning about 6:40, 6:35, something like that. Pretty excited. We're going to do a pork shoulder butt, but if I zoom in here a little bit, this is a certified Duroc pork shoulder. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, boy, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe it's just it's a different looking kind of pig. It's like one of those pigs that you would more or less see with like the long red hair on it and not the ones you would see in most hog farms. This is a little more expensive. I think this was about $3-ish a pound. I've never really looked for this stuff, but I've seen, a lot of the bigger YouTube channels use it for like ribs or like pork butts and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to try it, but I've never sought it out, kind of like I sought out the prime brisket. But just initially looking at this thing through the package, the marbling in it is a lot more nice. It's kind of comparable to a, putting a choice and a prime brisket right next to each other, trimming them up, and then look at the marbling in comparison between the prime and the choice. The prime's way better. But I'm going to go ahead and get this thing out of the package. I'm going to trim a little bit of the fat cap up, and then we're going to season it up. We're going to season it up with the same seasoning that I used on the St. Louis, or the pork spare ribs. I just did on the Rectech. It's just a little homemade blend here. I did add a little more salt, a little more garlic salt or garlic powder, and a little more onion powder to it. So besides that, I will pick back up, and I'll give you a look before I throw it on the grill. So we'll see you then. Alrighty, we are back. I got this thing trimmed up. I got a little aggressive with the trimming. I did go through a part of a meat, but it'll cook just fine. Basically, a lot of the times with butts, I don't do anything. With the fat cap on there, I leave it. But like when I'm feeling around on this, and there's some there's some hard fat on this. That's the stuff that I wanted to get off. And then on the other side too, there was just a little bit of fat that was kind of hanging off, and there was some meat that was hanging off, and it probably just would have burnt. So I just trimmed that off. But got this thing all rubbed down. I did use olive oil as a binder. For those of you who like when I do this, give you a little close-up of the rub. What I like about doing the homemade rub is the coarse ground black pepper, the coarse salt. Say hi to Baxton. Besides that, the grill is up to temp, so I will give you a shot when I got this thing thrown on. So we'll see you then. Alrighty, we're done at the grill. Just put the butt on real quick. Using a new kind of charcoal, not really new. I saw T-Roy use this in his brisket cook he just did on his kettle. Royal Oak XL cut. And if there is one knock on Royal Oak regular stuff, like the regular lump, it's really inconsistent. And it seems like, the bigger chunks are towards the top of the bag. And then once the bag gets more empty, the bottom, kind of gets really small. So I am impressed with the Royal Oak XL. Pretty good sized pieces of charcoal. But I'll give you a quick peek at the butt. See, we're using the slow ones here. We got the water trough full. We got the dripping griddle in there. We got that pan. And got about 5 or 6 chunks of hickory or so on there. Some of you might say, oh, that's way too much smoke. I can tell you something. Weber Smoky Mountain, Weber Kettle. I have never over smoked a brisket or a butt, and no matter how much wood I get on it. So to be honest with you, I may throw some more wood on during this cook. But we're going to be running at 275 the whole time. I am going to spray this thing down probably 2 or 3 times in the first 4 hours or so before I wrap it. And maybe I'll pick back up then, so we will see in a little bit. Alrighty, we are 3 hours into the cook. Give me a quick peek at the butt. Looking real nice. See if I can get you in a little closer. But yeah, bark's starting to set pretty dang good. I did open this up at the 2 hour mark, and I gave it a little spray. So I'm going to do the same thing again. And this is just, it's like 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water mix. And internal temp right now on the butt is at 153. So usually I pull my butts and wrap, same for briskets. Like I usually always do them right around the 165 and 170 range. So we'll probably pick back up when it's time to wrap. So I'm guessing probably about another couple hours, and I'll be wrapping. So we'll see you then. Alrighty, we are back. We've been on for 5 hours. Internal temp right now on this Duroc butt is at 165, and this is typically right where I like to wrap them. For one, the Aaron Franklin tip is, when that fat cap does split, that's when he decides to wrap his. But for me, it's always around 165, 170, and it's about, the same for this. 5 hours at 275. I've been on a 275 kick lately for butts, and to me, you can't I mean, you can't tell the difference, you know, cooking at 275 compared to 225, and again, that's just me. So now, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Before I put the butt in, I'm just gonna go ahead and mist the foil down with some of the spray, put a little more right back on top of the butt. That is gonna be about good. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back on the 26-inch lever kettle. About an hour ago, I did reload the slow and sear back up. Lump does tend to burn quicker. The stuff's doing a pretty good job though. At 275, I knew I was gonna have to reload at some point. So besides that, I will pick back up one more time when we're pulling into this. So we'll see you then. Alrighty, so we are back and it is time to eat. I'm gonna go over to cook times real quick. 275 was the cook temp. It was a total cook time of 8 hours, 5 hours unwrapped, 3 hours wrapped. And then I pulled it off and wrapped it in towels, let it rest for 2 hours. Internal temp on the butt was probably about 200, but you see some fixings over here on the side. What I like to do with these is make some sandwiches out of them. I think most people do too. But I like to throw some pork on, throw some onion on, throw some pickle on, and then throw some BBQ sauce on. Yeah, we got some fresh baked rolls over here on the side too that my neighbor Norma, thank you Norma, made me. And we're going to try one of that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and pull this thing, pull that bone out. And let's go ahead and pull this Duroc pork butt. Oh yeah, and it's just melting. Let's go ahead and give this Duroc pork butt a try and see what we got. Wow. That is, that's good. I'm going to take another piece here real quick if you don't mind. I mean, I'm taking the video, so of course you don't mind. But, that is top notch. I'm going to go ahead and eat. You guys and girls have a good night, and we will see you next time.